Yep. Okay.
She does not look happy. She doesn't look mad, but she's kind of walking down. You have to have quite the fortitude to come this far.
You took
Most people.
my cloak. I'm not leaving without my cloak. And with that, she aims the habanero gun at Palm.
Well, unfortunately, this is the complete wrong way.
It was a nice trip.
She, despite you pointing the gun at her, she's just, continues to walk forward towards you, Wyoming.
Hey, Super, you want to do something about this?
Why do you have all this stuff? I think I can guess, but
She just
if
kind of
you have a good reason,
kneels
I'd
down
like
to the.
hear it.
She just kneels down to the grave. When I was younger, when the predators attacked, I was so meek, terrified of the world. It was pathetic. I first joined the guild just trying to do something, anything. It was better than just sitting there and just waiting to die. Flag signed me up for the medics division. I wanted to fight. He told me he saw a greater purpose in me as a doctor. This man was my first patient. He was a criminal, mass murderer, arsonist. I tried to do my best to heal him. But the more I tried, the more worse he got. Not physically, but mentally. One day I went to his room and he cut his throat with a scalpel. I spent the next few days just wallowing in misery. A man was dead because of me. Because I was too weak and too scared to even get close to try and heal him. That's when someone gave me this book about someone called the Morn Star. A book of Lord Asmodeus. Before I knew it, I was praying to him for strength every day, for confidence, to do my job, to no longer be scared.
Well, whatever works for you, I guess. You've done a lot of good here for even for us and me on a number of occasions. But all this torture stuff that you have, apparently you've been doing a lot of bad here too.
Come with me. I want to show you something.
I'm going to make a sense motive check.
You see her. Do you see her walking towards the white building? Yeah, she wants to show you something. There's no hint of malice behind her.
All right,
How about
and I will
you
follow
go
her.
first, Soup Boy? Your friend, ain't it?
Hmm?
Your friend, Soup Boy. You go first.
Acquaintance, I suppose. But he does.
Right. You enter the white building, and she leads you into a large room, and you see a lot of ungulates wearing white like white shirts and gowns. She walks up to someone in a wheelchair. She kneels down. He looks up. Ah, Miss Palm. She smiles. How are you doing today? Good. I'm. Every day is a blessed day, thanks to you. How are the pills working? They they keep the feeling away. I I have to thank you. I wouldn't have gotten here without you. She smiles. They share a quick hug. She looks at you. This man right here, during the war, was a serial killer. When the predators, before the predators broke out, he always had a weird feeling in the back of his mind, and he always saw people as objects. When the predators broke out, he began acting on that feeling, and he began killing people. Men, women, children. He was one of my earlier patients. And you're right. I did horrible things, but he he's better. He's no longer insane. He's no longer a killer. He no longer feels that feeling. I I saved him and I saved so many others.
It's hard to
I
argue with.
know that my methods seem cruel. But everyone in this building is a patient, insane, psychotic, murderous, self-destructive. But now, for lack of a better term, they're normal again.
It is hard to argue with the results when, especially when they seem so happy. But why are they all still down here?
I don't believe bringing them back to normal society would do them any harm, would do them any help. I believe that if they were to go back into regular society, their system, their symptoms, their insanities, everything that made them who they were, they would resurface.
So it isn't just these pills.
No. I keep them here to take care of them. Because, well, no one else will. And I don't think they could take care of themselves.
And you were considering me for this program of yours?
Well, you, from our first meeting, you seemed quite disturbed. And even now I can tell you're fatigued, you suffer from insomnia. I don't know what you did to a bottle of rubbing alcohol. I could probably put two and two together. I'm sorry, but you're not sane.
Well,
You
I've
might
been
be able to keep it together, but I've seen many like you. It takes very little to snap that fine line.
She did break a bottle of alcohol that was someone else's to drink it off the floor. So,
Shut it, Soup Boy. Please. You're not really helping my cause here.
that's how she ended up in that situation that you treated her for.
He has memory lapses. It's a problem. He suffers from it. It's not a big deal, but his memory often wonks back and forth. He's just misremembering.
I got the rundown about you from Manwich. I don't want to, but I'll have to let you go for now. I'll give you your items and your armor.
You better.
Just
Don't be the next Jack.
yes, don't become Jack.
You never told me what happened to this Jack Soup Boy. What happened?
Jack, he was a constant drug addict, had a complete lack of I'm trying to think of the word.
Self-control?
Inhibition?
No. Disregard.
Disagreeing.
He had a complete disregard for his safety and the safety of his friends. He intentionally nearly started a zombie apocalypse. Between all of that, he was sent to my intensive care unit. I haven't really begun. She pauses to think of the proper wording and she just goes, I haven't begun working with him because I've been too busy with Oleander.
Any progress on that? Because it didn't look like it.
She shrugs. Her mind is completely shattered. Her body's still this weird, goopy substance. I can't properly do any tests. But enough of this. Let's get you back your armor.
And my cloak.
Of course. All your stuff.
Now, that wasn't so hard, was it?
Well, you could have just waited a few hours and we would have had to have avoided all this mess. And she just kind of just starts walking back into the hospital.
Coulda. Though we did get something out of it.
Yeah. Alright. You're led back into Palm's office and she walks into a closet where she hands you all of your stuff.
She takes the cloak and she hugs it before putting it back on.
I guess there's a story there.
The story you're not hearing.
All right.
Now I believe Manwich needed us to be at that investigation bureau. And then, fast forward. So, like I was saying, hang on, give me a second. So, Manwich walked in with the Furious Five, including Palm, Jingji, Kashra, Boss, and in tow, Wyoming and Incarnadine. So everyone is here. Well, everyone save for Honored Mother, who hasn't shown up yet.
And Waluigi.
Yep.
Wow.
Ah, that's deep wound.
So, Ollie's gonna walk up to Manwich. Should I be composed for this?
He just puts a hand on your shoulder. You'll be fine. We'll get through this.
She nods.
We have a room further in that'll accommodate all of us. Honored Father speaks up. Manwich, where is Where is Raish? I told her where to meet up. Whether or not she'll be here is... Before he finishes that sentence, the door bursts open, and Raish is there. She's just still looking rather angry. But I'm here, so you better start explaining everything. Manwich nods. Follow me, everyone. And he begins leading everyone into a large, I would say it's like a like one of the university classrooms. You got like a table and like whiteboard on one end, just like rows of chairs behind you on the other side. So does everyone take a seat?
Yes.
And Chronomine remains standing, but she doesn't leave.
Lucas hops up into a chair
All right.
and tries to see over the table. Kind of like standing half on the chair and half on the table.
Lily sits next to him.
All right. So everyone takes a seat while Rage is just standing by the door, just kind of tapping her scimitar on her on one of her claws. Manwich begins. So, I've done some digging and asking around. First off, seems that when we left, it's been at least about another 2 months before we came back, looking at the party. Now for us, it's only been a few days. Sensei has explained to me that time in the afterlife works a bit differently. You'll recall that in the Dreamlands, time moves faster. So a couple days in the Dreamlands is only a few hours back in the world of the waking. The afterlife is different. Time moves slower. A few days in the afterlife is close to a few months in the world of the living. Tianho speaks up. Hold up. Afterlife? Where did you go?
Hell.
Excuse me?
We went to hell.
She's telling the truth. We went into the Scorpion territory, and we took care of the threat down there, the Gertable. While exploring, we found a portal. Unfortunately, it turns out that this portal, the Pharaoh, Nyarlathotep, didn't want us going through it. Unfortunately, we jumped through before he could get to us. And we did, in fact, wind up in hell. There's a lot of murmuring between the NPCs. We were met by one of Asmodeus's generals. I'm not sure what their relationship is. Mephistopheles. He told us Asmodeus wanted to see us, and well, we nodded and we followed. On the way, we came across Sensei. Like Tianhuo, looking at her. Tianhuo and Jingji. He's not. Manwich nods and Tianhuo goes, oh, um, that's, huh. Well, wow.
Lucas tries to concentrate on her emotions just to amuse himself.
She is shocked, happy, scared, doesn't exactly know what to feel, and then she looks back at Honored Mother and she's like, I didn't think I'd ever meet my creators like this. Not in the flesh, but Manwich goes, anyways, we've learned that this is, in fact, the real Honored Father. Sensei here. Sensei explained that after he was killed by Nyarlathotep, he ascended into heaven and met Irori, whom he trained with. See, Rage has stopped tapping her scimitar. Is actually listening intently. On the way to Asmodeus's place, you learned how Nyarlathotep entered the world, how he did it. He caused rebellion, and using that chaos, escaped into our world. After a few more trials and tribulations, we finally made it to Asmodeus' place where we learned Nyarlathotep killed Faust. And there's just this kind of silence in the room. Faust.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's gonna stare at Arizona.
Arizona looks shocked. She has her hoof over her mouth. Her homunculus is kind of like mimicking her. You learn that Nyarlathotep stole something. It was called the Ice Tear. Samson speaks up. The ice tear. I've heard of it. The tip of the spear Asmodeus used to kill his brother eons ago. It's notorious for being a god-killing weapon. Kashra speaks up. Indeed. The ice tear was used 8,000 years ago. Well, a version of it materialized in the Dreamlands. That was used to defeat Nyarlathotep when he battled the kings of Ulagor. So, Nyarlathotep stole the real thing and escaped to this world. That is troubling.
We know where it is at least, though.
You do.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's, and... Okay.
We'll get to where the ISTR is soon.
We shouldn't. We don't know if he's listening.
I doubt there's anything we can do to stop him from listening.
Which is why it shouldn't be said at all.
Anyways, Asmodeus brought us back to Farnham, just outside of Huoshan. But we took a bit of a detour. And we found the heart of Huoshan. There's murmurings. So, it's just something Flag made, right? No. It's more than that. The heart of Huoshan was a torture device. But inside, the source of all our power in Huoshan was the Empress. There's a clang. You all turn. You see Raish has dropped her sword. She has this look of complete disbelief in her eyes.
I'm sorry.
Flag. We've also learned that Flag, if it's to be believed, Flag has been Nyarlathotep this entire time. Tianhua just kind of chuckles. You're kidding, right? Flag.
Lucas shakes his head.
I heard my echo. Anyways, look, you gotta be kidding. Flag is... He was...
True.
That can't be.
That traitorous bastard was the Chaos God.
She's just like... She
He
looks
didn't-
completely disgusted.
He didn't like the cult opening a hold, so he founded the Hunters Guild to fight them for him.
Ranwich nods.
Okay, now I know you're shitting us. I'm no fool. But you're telling me, and everyone in this room, that the biggest military installation in years was founded by Nyarwa Singh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, everybody raise your hook if you believe this.
Who invited her here?
Regardless of whether she wants to or not, she's part of this now. But like I said, believe it if you want. Came from his mouth, so take it with a grain of salt. But when he left, we couldn't just leave her there, so we destroyed the heart of Huoshan, and we killed the Empress.
I did.
When you say that, he goes, "We killed the Empress."
I put a claw on Lily's shoulder.
Just more silence. Tianho has this just kind of blank look in her eyes. He goes, "The Empress is dead?" Manwich solemnly nods.
It was
And you just see,
her orders.
even if you say that, you just see Tianho's flames just completely go out, and she just slumps back.
Lucas continues solemnly. In some time, Huoshan will heat up. Everyone who isn't a Longma won't be able to survive here anymore without assistance.
There's just more stunning silence. In 7 days, Huoshan will become completely unlivable to anyone who isn't a Longma. We need to evacuate.
Only to rebuild.
Palm is the first to speak up. Where will we go? I don't know. There ain't exactly any safe places out there.
We don't have to move far. Right?
I'm not sure. There are several places where we can rebuild, but many of them involve encroaching into the Heart of Heaven's territory. Well, why don't we just... Paprika speaks up. Why don't we just join with the Heart of Heaven?
That's there's also a problem with that. As well.
Manwich speaks up. That's not a possibility. Rage here has informed us of something. When we first met her, he goes, if it's to be also believed, each member of the Phonem Pantheon is Nyarlathotep as well. And there's just a lot of murmuring, and Zuge is just like, but what about honored mother and honored father? They're right here. From my conversations with them, they're not even aware that they have followers.
And even if we got them to play the parts, the Herd of Heaven may just assume it's the two of them trying to take over the entire clergy. Long invasion.
Sorry. As far as we can tell, every religion and those who gain power from their gods are all gaining it, and in turn giving power to Nyarlathotep. Arizona finally speaks up. What about Faust? I
Dead.
don't know. But if she's dead, why do I still get power from her?
Replaced.
By Nyala.
He was actually the one who sealed the predators away in the first place.
You know, that's kind of a relief. For the longest time, I thought she'd never be that monstrous to create something like Ultima. But to think that I've been getting my powers from someone who killed her. Truth be told, we don't know if Faust was replaced. Officially, Faust isn't on the Pantheon.
Officially by who?
The Herd.
The Herd of Heaven. God damn. You need to... Are you on Push to Talk?
I am.
Okay. 'Cause I still hear
Yeah,
myself
He's
echoing.
just trying to talk sometimes on when you talk, and
Yeah,
it makes the echo.
yeah, I gotcha.
Yes.
Alright, well, he, according to the Herd of Heaven, several ancient texts, which I assume were made by Nyarlathotep, Faust is nowhere to be seen on the Pantheon. Granted, you typically don't see dead gods in any ancient books. You don't get power from a dead god. But I do. And
Just consider it a danger.
I just can't believe it, that the energy I get, it just feels so pure and righteous. I can't imagine that it's coming from a monster like him.
Neither can all those others.
So, effectively, starting today, we're banning all religious practices of the Phonem Pantheon, including honored mother, honored father, and Faust if need be.
How are you going to enforce that?
We'll just have to tell people the truth.
Will they believe you?
Hold on, that's a little bit of a problem. If they even believe you, they might start worshipping Nyarlathotep directly.
We have the real honored mother and honored father. So there's a chance we can get them to worship. We can get them to worship the real ones and not the fabricated honored mother and honored father. It's a
So-
stretch, but it's there.
One question I've been meaning to ask. What's the point? Why would a chaos god of some higher dimension replace an entire pantheon? Basically, make our entire world's history moot. What does he want out of this?
Power.
What does he get out of this?
Power.
What's he going to do with all that power?
He seeks vengeance against the ones that sent him to hell 8,000 years ago.
Well, so then we're fine, right? We never sent him to hell. We weren't even alive back then.
He doesn't care. He just wants us for power.
We're just tools to him.
We're a giant farm. And he's reaping the seeds.
Well, then what happens to us?
We go about our lives, dying whenever he sees it. And being ideally ignorant of his existence. But those plans have fallen through at this point.
Had the cult not unleashed the predators, we all would have been blissfully unaware of his existence. We've gone about our daily lives, just living this massive lie. Kasha speaks up. But now, after their folly, the observers took notice and entered this world to combat the crawling chaos. They are your best, and I dare say only chance of defeating him.
Well, I hope they start doing a lot more than they have been.
But wait, I'm not. If Nyarlathotep just does whatever he wants, kills whoever sent him to hell, I'm not hearing a downside here. What if we just go about our daily lives?
Because, do you think he cares? Once he's gotten his revenge, what happens to us? For all we
Oh,
know,
man.
his plan is to lure them into this plane and then wipe out the entire plane with them in it.
We just from what we just heard from Oleander, he's going to bring stronger forces here.
That's what the crazy one meant? No. Oh my god.
No. Nyarlathotep won't.
Did you move your mic again?
Yes, I did. Yeah, he goes, no. Nyarlathotep won't. You see, the thing is, in context to Nyarlathotep, there's only two beings stronger than him, and only one of them, arguably. He wouldn't dare. Nyarlathotep thrives on trickery, deception, torture. He plays with you. He finds it fun. We're here to bring these other powerful beings in. This entire side of the galaxy would be wiped out before you could even realize it.
I don't know. She mentioned outer gods or something. I wasn't really following that part.
She is insane.
Yep.
You would do well not to take the word of those who've lost their minds. But I do know, from listening, observing, scrying on your missions, Nyarlathotep has something, doesn't he? Manwich nods. The eclipse. We still don't know what the eclipse is yet. We know it's some kind of ship hanging just outside lower orbit. But we don't know what it entails or what it can do. There's also the matter of Nyarlathotep's cyber initiative.
Well, I would assume that that's where those callers were sending people.
If I had to make any guess, I would say Nyarlathotep was using East Side and, well, Soul for experimentations on these collars. Where they're sending them, I can only assume they're sending them up to the eclipse to do God knows what. But this is where we stand. We've got two choices. As far as we know, the cult is still gonna make their move and try and take us out. We have to move and rebuild. However, we can still keep this place. The Longma can remain. And I assume that Rage and her Draco kin can live here as well. That's correct.
What about Honored Father?
I can remain here as well. My training with Irori has sent me to rather interesting training places. One including a small planet just outside the Dark Tapestry. I am aware of Nyarlathotep's kin and monsters. Mere heat will be nothing to me.
Well, that's a bit of a relief. He looks at Honored Mother.
She's just kind of just looking at him. She's still like, nah, he can't be. But, I mean, what if he is?
But there's the matter of where the rest of us will live.
We'll worry about that another day. For now, we need
like
to
to
tell the general
recommend-
populace.
I
One
would
more
like
time?
to
What did you say?
recommend moving into the abandoned farming towns outside Huoshan.
I'll send some scouts to check it out. You can direct them.
She nods.
Very well. We'll send us. You'll go out with the scouting party to check it out. I hope everyone understands the situation. Everyone nods.
Lucas nods.
All the NPCs nod. Tomorrow, we're going to begin preparations for an evacuation, along with a proper debrief, along with a proper explanation to the general populace. We're going to try our plan on introducing the real Honored Mother and Honored Father to the populace. Try and get them to worship them instead of the fabrications. Samson, I want you to start packing up everything. I want you to start packing up in the Artificer Division. And I want you to get every possible scrapped weapon that you got in that room. Including, yes, I want you to go wake up Eliandra Wagner. Samson takes a deep breath. Understood. Kashra, can you get in touch with the observers? We're going to need their help. I will see what I can do. And if it's possible, find out what happened to the Crimson King. Very well. Palm, you get a detailed list of all our supplies, medical equipment, surgical equipment. And anyone in the intensive care unit that can be that are safe for travel, take them with you. What about those who aren't? Manwich says nothing. I see. Very well. Tianhu, I want you to begin starting extensive military training on all non-military personnel. I need every able body to be ready for war. She just gives a salute and goes, "Sir."
Oh, Manwich, about Palm. Would it help if I offered teleportation?
He
It's
nods.
an
Very
ability.
well. Paprika, I want you to work with Tianhuo. Anyone that isn't able-bodied, I want them to work under you. Under me? Yes. They can't fight. I want you to train them to be able to fight. In your way, your style. Understood. Who else is left? Raphael. I need you to go and start training with every able-bodied swordsman. Understood. And he turns. Rage. I need you to start getting the Dracokin ready for battle. My people are always ready for battle. I shall see that they start beginning proper military drills. Understood. Boss, I need you to find every able-bodied person in the big band. Start training them. Lucas here is gonna need your help with a few things. Speaking of, Zuge, work with Boss on helping Lucas gain his powers. Work on his powers. Okay. As for the rest of you, go and rest. We've had a long couple days. It has been quite the exhausting experience. I want you all to rest. I want you all to recover. I need all of you to be at tip-top shape for when we leave. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Very good. You're all dismissed. Alright. As everyone is leaving, Sensei is stopped by Rage. She just looks at him. She just simply goes, "We need to have a talk." She's just dragging him out. Like, it just like that, they're gone. Just
You-
storms out. She just storms out the door with with honored father.
You almost see a hint of a smile from Wyoming. Also, he passes out bags of money to everyone.
Wait, what?
Yep. Everyone in the party. He shoves one at Incarnadine.
Passes about what?
Bags of money.
Bags of money.
Apparently, Wyoming paid. I mean, apparently.
Wyoming what?
Cut out?
Yeah, you all cut out.
Okay. I said, apparently, Manwich must have paid him at some point.
Oh,
No.
I should. Oh, no?
It's the money for his what's that? Monastery?
How much money is this?
Yeah, just a second. He shoves one at Incarnadine. Welcome to the party, I suppose.
Anyhow,
Never signed up for this.
Waffle hurries after Samson. Because he was forgotten during the town segment.
During the what segment?
The town segment, where everybody got stuff to do.
So yeah, I was like about to end session, but yeah, we'll do you last and then we'll end session. So everyone is given money from Wyoming.
Yay.
What is this? What is this for?
Sold stuff from the Dakota brothers and some other things.
Oh. It's such a long time ago.
He's been
I
carrying
know.
around that junk all this time.
Yep.
That's what bags are holding her for.
As you're all walking out, Manwich goes, meet me later tomorrow, and I'll give you proper payment for the desert mission.
Alright. I got a few goodbyes, I suppose.
Alright. Wyoming, as you're walking out, make a perception. Alright. As you're walking, you see, you actually see a member of the Herd of Heaven just walking around. He's looking for someone.
who is? Who is?
Is a member of the Herd of Heaven. His face is covered by a helmet.
Alright, well, I'm sure Wyoming goes up to them and asks, anything I can do to help you?
He looks at you for a moment, and he takes his helmet off, revealing your father. He looks at you and he goes, as a matter of fact, you can. I need your help.
You do?
Do you have somewhere where we can talk privately?
Yeah, I have a few places, yeah, sure.
Alright, you walk off with your father, setting up your solo session in a few weeks.
Is that going to be the end of session?
No, not the end of session just yet. I'm just Just setting up the solo sessions for the next few weeks.
Who all is getting one again?
It's Lucas, Wyoming, and Brock's
Right.
in that order.
And Bao, if she gets her backstory. Oh, well.
Aww. And Waffle.
So, Lucas, you and Boss walk up to the big band. And Boss just kind of looks at you, just sitting back against the caravan. So, how's it feel?
Hmm?
Psychic power.
It feels different.
It's
Feels
definitely a weird feeling. First time you feel it. But when you get to it, when you get used to it, you find it can be really useful. So, have they told you what the basis of all psychic power is?
would
They
be
told
that.
Oh,
Did you hear what I said?
No.
He said, have they told you what the source of all psychic power is?
Yes. The devourer.
Okay, that's wrong, actually.
It is?
Well, I don't know about you, but see, psychic power originated from Faust. When she created the world, she bestowed her power into every living being. In that case, everyone who was ever born in Phonum is a latent psychic. I'm not sure how you predators work, but, well, you were born from Shangri-La. Who, if everything's to be believed, dragons existed before Faust came into this world. I should probably say us predators.
Yeah.
Shut up! Wrong word,
Sorry.
wrong wording,
sorry.
wrong wording.
I don't know how you predators have smirk, but
I forgot I'm a fucking bear.
What do you mean, you predators?
He's smoking.
Omnivores.
He has been hanging out with the moon deer.
Oh no.
He thinks he's an ungulate.
Well, he's a bear, so he can eat
Anyways.
non-stuff.
With us, it's a little different. Still emotions, but our psychic power is more tied not just to emotion, but to the earth as well. I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but we were born, our ancestors were born when Shangri-La's corrupted magic seeped into the world. And, of course, in one way or another, tied to Shangri-La as well. So, when you draw on your psychic power, what does it feel like?
To be honest, sometimes it feels like I'm doing it out of anger. Other times I'm doing it out of kindness. I don't. Out of a need. Sometimes I need to destroy whatever I see. Other times I just feel like I just need. I need to just just save someone in need. I don't feel like a mess right now. Sometimes, just a little bit.
When you're starting to hone your psychic powers, you need to be careful to watch your emotions. Let your emotions go too wild, your psychic power goes wild. You could think that maybe letting your emotions go wild and just charging someone with as much psychic power as possible, you'd think that's pretty powerful. It's actually wrong. Psychic power is strongest when it's honed, like a blade when it's sharpened.
I see.
So I guess that's what you and I are going to work on. Getting your emotions in check. Getting rid of that turmoil in the back of your mind, because you might not be able to see it, but I can. Your aura is a swirling mass, like a thunderstorm right before a massive tornado.
I see.
So have you undergo how I learned to hone my powers. Excuse me. And we're gonna delve you right into your own mindscape. And you're gonna kick whoever ass is inside.
Understood.
Yeah.
I mean, I will do that. Definitely.
You know, just follow me. And he leads you to a caravan all the way in the back.
Mm.
Right. As you're walking, you hear a voice in your head. This bear knows nothing. I can give you all the power you need. You want to refine and hone your psychic power into your mindscape and seek me out.
Lucas doesn't think anything back or respond in any particular way.
All right. So that's it for setting up your solo session, which we'll get to next week.
Hmm.
Brox. Good.
He's
But-
here.
But what has Waffle been doing this whole time?
Good question. Waffle, you went to go see Samson, right?
Yep. I'm gonna go find him and then simply ask. After all this, I'm gonna need to study. Can you teach me all this technology you know In the future, I am going to need all of this and more. And you are the only one who can help me.
He nods. As you're following him, he's walking into into like an office area of the artifice division. Presses a button and enters this room of just rows and rows and rows of weapons.
I am an arms dealer.
I will teach you everything I know. There are many types of knowledge and technology that I have kept on the back burner that we must begin to work on immediately. But first, you see him walk up to a pod where you see. Do I have a picture? Yep. Where you again see this a woman completely dressed, just unconscious, floating in a liquid.
Long-haired Erkudite? Yeah. I wave at her. She's unconscious, but I wave at her.
And he begins typing into a keyboard, and then you see the water is beginning to drain.
Who
The
is
pod-
she? I ask him, who is she?
Eliandra Wagner. She's we found her in an expedition underneath Huoshan. She seems to have been so out of place, as if someone had put her there. We brought her back to Huoshan and put her in this room.
After all this fiasco with Nyarlathotep, might it be that she's a result from his messing around?
No. Because before the Crimson King left, he explained to me who she is. He looks at her. She's the last king of Ulagor.
I have no idea what that place is, but yay, I guess.
The pod opens, and her eyes open. Stay back. She tries to take a step, and she just immediately flops forward, hitting the ground.
Ow.
Where am I? She's looking around. Where is Lord Gilad? He's looking around. Samson? Is that you? No. You're not him. You seem different. Samson wasn't a goat. You just, Samson walks up to her, is helping her up. There are many things we need to explain to you. He begins helping her out. And that's where we're ending session.